Welcome to my build of the ITLA Lineside Tool Shed. This is a great little kit with fantastic laser cut parts. I started by airbrushing my walls an off-white. I knew I wanted to put some kind of interior detail and framing inside this. Scale 2x4s ended up looking too big, so I cut my framing out of scale 2x3s using a slicer. I then started gluing them to the inside of the building, first putting the perimeter in place and then gluing all the framing inside it. Once I was done with that, I started cutting a platform for the structure to sit on. I glued that underneath the floor while I was test fitting my walls in place. I then airbrushed my trim green that I would fade later using a sanding stick. After I had all those pieces ready to go, I stained the floor using two different stains, lighter in the middle, darker on the outside. I then started to apply some of the windows and trim to the walls. Then I started gluing the walls together onto the floor. I cut out the doors and test fitted the hardware onto them to see where my hinges would go. At that point, I started working on the hardware that was to go on the door. I rusted them and started to cut them out. Then I started weathering the outside of the building using two different stains, a murky brown and ivy green near the bottom. Then I picked a stain color for the interior of the building, and I used a 100-line greige. At this point, I started applying the rest of the trim to the structure, and then working on details that were going to go inside the building. Then I finished applying the hardware to the doors. I cut the lock that came with the doors in half so I could model them open. Then I started applying rust to the doors using AK color pencils. I glued the roof in place and then glued the doors on, and I put the trim on the roof. At this point, the structure was done. I just needed to find a place on my layout where I could put it. Thank you for watching.